Hey guys, since a lot of you guys really liked my ribbon skirt tutorial from last week, today I'm going to show you how I add hanging ribbons to a ribbon skirt, and this will just be just the hanging ribbons part. Okay, so in order to add hanging ribbons to a ribbon skirt, you're going to need your ribbon skirt with all your ribbons sewn onto it. And if you're unsure about how to do this, you can watch my previous video where I show you guys from start to finish a super basic ribbon skirt. And then you're going to need all of your ribbons as well as some scissors and a lighter. So for this step, it's super important that you haven't sewn your ribbon skirt together. You just have both sides of the ribbon skirt with just the ribbons sewn on, because we're gonna sew the hanging ribbons with the sides of the ribbon skirt. This will make sense in a hot second. Okay, so to begin, you're gonna wanna cut all the ribbons you're gonna be using into strips of 18 inches. You can do longer, you can do shorter, but 18 inches is what I prefer. So you're gonna want to do one 18-inch strip per ribbon per side. So if you have a ribbon skirt like mine where it's ombre to white in the center and then ombre from white to dark again, you're gonna want 2 ribbons of that color for each side. If that doesn't make sense, you'll kind of see in a minute what I mean. Okay, so now you're gonna take just one side of your ribbon skirt. Here's mine, and you're gonna wanna get either some pins or some clips. Oh, I prefer to use these clips because they're a little bit wider. What you're going to do is take one of your ribbon strips and you're gonna fold it in half and take one of your clips or one of your pins and clip it. And you're gonna do this with all the colors that you're gonna need for one side of your ribbon. So as you can see, like I said before, you'll need one strip per ribbon per side. So I'm gonna do all my colors on this side and then we'll do that side after we sewed this side up. Okay, so now that you've clipped all of your ribbons in half, now it's time to clip them to the corresponding color on the skirt. So I'm just going to line up whatever clip to the color, unclip it, and then re-clip it to the bottom of the skirt. And then you just repeat that. You line up the ribbon, unclip it, and re-clip it to the bottom of the skirt. This is what you should end up with. Everything should be lined up pretty good. And now we can take the front or the back part of the skirt and put it on top of here and then re-clip it so that all 3 are clipped together. So you'll have one panel of the skirt, ribbons, and then another panel of the skirt on top. Okay, so once the other panel of your skirt is on top, you're gonna fold back the part that has the ribbons on it just to make sure it's lined up. Then, like we did before, unclip and clip all 3 together. Okay, so now it should look all nice and clipped up, everything's smooth. And now I'm going to put a couple pins around the rest of the sides, and then we can take it to our sewing machine and sew the sides up. Okay, coming over to my sewing machine, I'm just using a regular straight stitch, and it doesn't really matter what the width or the length of the stitch is. It can be pretty small because we're just going to be sewing the sides up. If you're going to be using a serger like I am, it doesn't really matter, but if you don't have a serger and you're just going to be using your sewing machine to sew up the sides, I would recommend using a stitch that's much smaller. That way it'll kind of hold a little bit better. Alright, now you can go ahead and sew up your whole skirt. I'm using about a 1/2 inch seam allowance for this part. You can do whatever seam allowance is best for you though. Alright, so now that I've sewn up one side, I'm just going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side of the skirt. Okay, so now that both sides have been sewn up, it's now time to take your serger and serge the sides together. Alright, I had to change to a voiceover because it got really loud in my house, but the last step for the hanging ribbons is cutting the ribbons and burning them. So I like to cut mine at a downward angle from the top corner of the ribbon towards the bottom of the skirt. And this is just my preference. I've also done them pointing upwards, so from the bottom corner of the ribbon to the top. And either way, it's totally up to you. I've even seen people do like the snake tongue where they do like a V cut in the middle. This is really a personal preference. You can even just cut them straight down and burn them if you don't want too much anything going on or if it's your first time. But this is what I do here. I just take a pair of scissors, cut all the ribbons. Then I'm going to take my lighter, and be very careful when you do this part because you can like burn the ribbon a little bit too much. But this is just to help fraying on the ends of the ribbon. Alrighty, and here she is in all her glory. All the hanging ribbons are complete. So let me know what other tutorials you guys want to see, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!